Hello my dolls, let's jump straight into it. First things first, you will need clean brushes. I picked 3, number 1 being a fluffy brush. You're going to need a small dense brush. As you can see, it isn't as fluffy as the first one, and a flat brush. We're not going to use this one, but I'll just show you which one we're going to use instead later on. You will need a light concealer because we never apply eyeshadow on bare skin, it just won't show. And finally, you will of course need an eyeshadow palette. I'm going to start applying the concealer on my eyelids. To blend out the concealer, I prefer using a brush. You can use a beauty blender if you'd like, but I just find that I have a lot more control when I use a brush. Also, pay attention to my placement. I'm not spreading the concealer all over my eyelid. Instead, I'm trying to keep it strictly on my eye. I'm also tapping in the concealer. I'm not swiping it across my eyelids. I'm tapping it in to create a smooth eyeshadow base. Now that my base is nice and smooth, I'm going to use that extra brush I showed you guys to just blend out my corners so that the transition between my eyeshadow and my skin is seamless. So the way you hold your brush is actually very important. If you're going to hold it towards the brush strokes, then it's going to give you a more dense look, like a more prominent and strong look. But if you hold it to the tip of the eyeshadow brush, then that's going to give you a light and a brush look. So because I'm blending out my concealer, I'm just going to hold it towards the brush strokes. So now for the eyeshadow part, you want to pick a family, right? So a family of browns, a family of greens, etc. And you want to pick 3 shades of that family. So you want to pick the darkest brown you can find, you want to pick a medium brown, and you want to pick the lightest you can find. In my case, I don't have a super light brown, so I'll be using Soloist, and that's going to serve as my lightest shade. Now you want to pick up the medium shade of the family. This is called a transition shade because it serves as a transition between your skin, and it introduces the array of shadows you're about to place on your eyelid. And you want to place this on your crease, and that right there is your crease. It's kind of where your eyeball stops, if that makes sense, but yeah, it's that dip. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna hold my brush by the tip because I want this to be quite a spread out placement. I don't want it to be on one place, hence I'm using a fluffy brush and I'm holding it at the tip, and I'm using circular motions to blend out my shade. I know it looks like I've changed my technique, but I promise you I'm still using the circular motion. I'm just going in faster. Blending is the key to a flawless eyeshadow look. So if you're using browns, you want your transition shade to kind of come up to your nose, and that's just gonna marry the rest of your makeup to your eye look. So I'm now going to take my dense brush and I'm going to tap that into my darkest family member, i.e. my darkest shade. So I'm going to be applying the darkest shade on my outer corner, and pay attention to my placement. I am not using that circular motion as I was with the transition shade. Instead, I am now packing on the eyeshadow. I'm also trying to keep my eyeshadow just right till that point. I'm not trying to bring it further in because that's going to enclose my eye, and for this particular eyeshadow style, I want my eye to look quite wide. The reason why a dark shade is necessary in applying eyeshadow, particularly for this style, is that it brings dimension to your eye look. So now I'm going to use my brush, the first fluffy brush that we initially used with that middle shade, and I'm just blending out that dark shade, only the outer corners. I'm not touching the center of the shade. I am going to go back to the middle shade, which is the transition shade, and I am picking up as much product as I can, and I'm now going to pack on the product. I'm no longer using the circular motion as I did before on my crease, but I am now packing it on the center of my lid. Very important, people shouldn't be able to tell where your darker shade starts and ends, or where your middle shade starts and ends. So you need to eliminate any lines of demarcation by blending the two together, just like this. I'm also bringing in that shadow up until this point because we have that lightest shade to apply still. Remember how I showed you guys this flat brush in the beginning of the video? I was actually meant to show you guys the smaller one because this one is really going to go into my inner corners quite nicely. So this is the shade that I'll be using to apply the lightest shade of the family. I'm still using the packing motion to apply the eyeshadow, but I'm also trying my very best to keep that placement on my inner corner. For my eye shape, I like taking my eyeshadows a little bit above my eyelid, just so it opens up my eyes a little bit more. This step is not mandatory, but it really does elevate your eye look. I guess it also depends with what look you're going for. I like drama, so I'm gonna do it, child. So I'm gonna take the darker shade, and I'm really gonna cover my eyeshadow brush with that shade, tap off the excess, and I'm going to apply that eyeshadow on my lower lash line. Okay, so you guys tell me which side looks the best. I told you. We're not done yet, dolls. We're almost there, but we just need to clean up our looks. I'm just brushing up my eyebrows and reshaping them a bit. I'm gonna grab my concealer. I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. And I'm gonna grab the brush that I used earlier on to shape out my eyebrows. Once again, this step is not necessary, but we're just cleaning up the eye look. So I'm just tapping into my concealer just a little bit, and I'm gonna dab off the excess. And I'm just gonna outline my eyebrow once again, just to clean up my eyeshadow look. It does seem like it's an unnecessary step, but it does have a beautiful impact on your final look. Okay, so you can apply mascara and call it a day at this stage, but I just want to take it up a notch. Okay, so I applied some mascara on my eyelid, but Solid Chain Smash, I'm just going to grab my transition brush and I'm just going to erase all of that. Okay, just the mascara looks cute, but I want something more. So I'll be using my liquid eyeliner to elevate this look, guys. I promise you, adding liquid eyeliner to your eyeshadows, a game changer. I'm using a thin line. I'm not applying too much. I'm just gonna apply just enough to cover my lash strip. So I think you need to rewind and rewatch how I apply my eyeliner. I start off by my teardrop with a very thin layer and I work my way up, okay? And then I come back to fill it out. But please look at this, how gorgeous. So now I'm gonna apply my eyelashes and I've applied my glue already. Make sure to get those corners, guys. Please put a little bit more glue on the outer corners of your eyelashes. I prefer using a tweezer to apply my falsies, and I just hold them in the center just like that, and I angle them downwards, right? And I look down on a mirror when I apply my falsies. And what you want to do is to apply your false lashes as close to your lash line as possible. You want to make sure that there is no space between your eyelashes and the false eyelashes. And to do this, I like pinching them together, if that makes sense. I take my tweezers and I squeeze my natural eyelashes with my falsies all the way through. I look so crazy, but you can't tell me that the lash side does not look better. I mean, not me feeling myself, child. No, but I'm very happy with how this look turned out. I hope you guys could follow well, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.